Hi, Ghosties. I'm Macy.
And I'm Natalie.
And that's Petey.
He's back.
He's resting.
He's having a good time.
Not anymore. But it was a brutally cold winter. Colder than the young hunter had ever remembered. Ice and snow covered every surface, and he hadn't come across a single plant or animal in days. With no sense of direction since the blizzard blew him and his companion off course, they were trapped out in the wilderness. The night before, a creature had come to him in his dreams. He did what he could to keep it at bay, but the evil spirit overcame him that night in his sleep, feeding on his desperation and the pains of hunger that had become unbearable. He awoke in a sweat despite the chill in the air and looked at his fellow hunter, still asleep. An urge washed over the young man as his stomach noises rang out in the cave they'd found for a safe rest. He spent several minutes fighting with himself, with the insatiable hunger within him, but it was no use. He knew what he had to do now. He was craving it with such intensity that he couldn't control himself. It was over very quickly, but as soon as he'd finished his meal, the guilt he should have felt at killing his companion was overshadowed by the urge for more. His body grew in size. His skin stretched over his bones, taut around every curvature, turning gray and ashy in tone. He was unrecognizable and starved for more flesh. So, with his heart of ice, he left the cave in search of another victim, a reflection of the same monster he saw in his dreams, doomed to walk the freezing woods and barren lands for eternity.
We're doing cannibals. We're doing cannibalism.
Pretty much, yeah. Today's episode was chosen by our patrons. It's yet another Native American legend that brings nothing but terror and fright to those who hear its name. Today we're discussing the Wendigo, a legend of a cold, frozen monster to chill you in the summer heat.
I'm intrigued. I've never heard the stories. I've seen people comment them on, like, whenever there's, like, mimic videos or Appalachia videos, just like, that's what's popular right now.
Yeah.
I see that within the top 5 comments. Someone mentions that name. I never knew what it was.
From the beginning, we've had people ask us to do this.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about it before this. I didn't know anything about it. I've seen pictures. I knew of the movie Antlers or whatever that was about it.
I don't even think I've seen that.
I didn't see the movie, but I saw commercials for it. That was literally it. So when I dove into this, it was a lot darker and more terrifying than I thought it would be.
Okay.
And very, I don't know, I had a hard time getting through this episode because it was so depraved.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is your warning. If you don't want to talk about depravity and cannibalism, move on. I don't go into any detail. I will never go into any detail about anything like this because that's just not me. I don't like gore. It just doesn't do it for me. So this is your warning. We'll see you next time. If not, otherwise our tea is from a listener.
It was from Brandy.
From Brandy. It's the Tiesta blueberry, right?
Yes, Tiesta Teas blueberry. And Brandy also sent us Hunt and Gather dry foods, blueberry lavender sugar cubes.
Yes, I'm very excited about that.
I could die.
I tried to get Natalie to let us use them last time. She was like, no, we got to save it for the blueberry tea.
Yes, we have to. It's a package. So it's going to be very blueberry today.
I'm
excited. Thank you, Brandy.
Let's go. I'm going to be honest. Getting those chunks of flour in there is a little unsettling.
A little jarring.
But the flavor, so good.
Fantastic, actually.
Yeah. These sugar cubes, they're so cute. They're very big. They've got little chunks of lavender flour in it.
This is good.
Very cute. Very tasty.
It's like I guess the cubes made it really sweet. I'm into this.
Mine's not super sweet because I've got like double the cup of yours.
You do.
Only used one.
I used one cube and it's good. It's really, really good, actually. Thank you, Brandy. Oh my God.
This one is good. So thank you again, Brandy. Oh, also, I just wanted to mention somebody made a Reddit page for us. So if any of you ghosties like Reddit and you want to get on and talk to your fellow man about ghosts, you can go on there. It's r/ghostiespodd. It's totally fan run. I just figured I'd throw it out there. And I also wanted to just give one last disclaimer before we get started. Just as we've talked about before, I wanted to say that in one podcast, it's very hard to encompass all the nuance and different aspects of various cultures who speak of such things like this. This is simply a retelling, really an amalgamation of several different legends from several different peoples. If you're interested in learning more, particularly about one of the tribes who spoke of this creature, the conditions people found themselves in when talk of these legends began, or the aspects of their individual cultures and communities that may explain further this creature in particular, its motives, and what lessons it may teach, I highly recommend you look into it. There are many resources out there to learn more and websites that can point you in directions of a particular tribe, their language, things around it, that kind of thing. One I found interesting, but it's a little dated, so I don't know if they're still keeping up with it, was native-languages.org. It's run by, I believe he's Cherokee, and another person who's like works and studies in this. And they just kind of bring together a lot of resources from people like a part of tribes
that are native.
That are native, yeah.
We are not. I think a lot of our family is. We are not.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to say that because I feel like sometimes, anytime you talk about different cultures or anything, for some reason,
out of my depth because I'm not a part of it. I don't know from a
firsthand
cultural standpoint.
Yes.
And I'd like to know there is a lot of nuance to like talking about these things.
Yeah.
And it's hard to do that when you're an outsider and you
only
aren't involved in the day-to-day, especially when things were happening way back then, you know?
Yeah, and you only have what resources the internet can give you, and I know that you do extensive research, but I feel like sometimes, especially around native legends, people can get, like, it can get a little touchy.
Carried away.
It can get a little touchy, too, just for certain things, but yeah, I just make sure people know, like, you did as much research as you could.
Yes, outside of reading several books, which I just didn't have time for. So that's like another thing. Like I only have time for so much.
Mm-hmm.
There's only so much I could look into. So yeah. But I try to find good resources.
So if there's anything that you want to add, anything that you disagree with, respectfully let us know. Because we're just two people on the couch. We're trying our best.
And I do like to know. Like if I get something wrong, if I found the wrong resource or something, I love to know that I'm wrong. In a nice way.
Kindly.
Because I'm open to learning new things.
But yeah, just disclaimer. But besides that, I'm ready to learn about it because I know nothing.
Again, I didn't either. So it's a new day for both of us.
Perfect.
The Wendigo is a creature, or possibly evil spirit, that originated with the Algonquian tribes living in the northern U.S. and Canada. There are variations of this creature, including spellings and pronunciations of the name. So there are many different names per tribe, basically. Ranging across several First Nations, including the Abenaki, Cree, Ojibwe, Innu, and many other tribes living around the Great Lakes regions and in colder regions of the continent. So mostly up north in the like freezing area of the world, or of the North America.
Talking about Ojibwe again, Trixie Mattel.
I know. I've been kind of focused in the Great Lakes region.
Yeah.
Totally unintentionally. It just felt that way.
Kind of cool. I like
find
that
it
we're
interesting.
Staying over there for a minute.
It feels like there's something pulling me there or something. Like, you know what I mean?
Okay.
In the least weird way possible.
I didn't think it was weird. I think it's intriguing. And I would like to explore that more. Why do you feel so drawn there?
I don't know.
All right.
Let's explore that another day. What we know of this creature today has changed a bit over the years and within pop culture, but there is a core aspect to this being that remains true across cultures and time. It is a cannibalistic monster that stalks the woodlands and lakes in winter searching for prey. There are some who believe, like with some of the other legends we've discussed before, that when you say its name, you give it a reason to come looking for you. So, with this in mind, I will try to limit the use in case it makes anyone uncomfortable, because I know some people get really uncomfortable when I say names of things like that.
To say, you're like, oh, if I say the name, it comes for us. How dare you?
It's the same with SWs.
Yeah.
Same with certain other kinds of legends, like the Fae, that kind of thing.
So what are you gonna say?
I'm just gonna say it, or the creature, as much as I can.
Okay.
But depending on which tribe you ask, its origins vary. Some believe that it was and remains an evil spirit, human-like in appearance, but distorted and horrid. It possesses its human victims, who have been weakened by times of extreme conditions like hunger and cold, or if they find themselves weak against greed, gluttony, or excess. The spirit turns them into selfish, greed-filled monsters whose only goal is to cannibalize its community, be that symbolically or literally. It's an evil spirit that devours mankind. Once you've been possessed by the spirit, you develop an insatiable hunger for human flesh. And once you've taken your first bite, you begin a transformation into a grotesque figure, one whose priorities and values lie beyond the community and to yourself only. Some believe that the spirit may come to you first in your dreams while you are completely vulnerable. But once you've been possessed, you may never be able to come back. You've fallen too far into its grasp and transformed into something totally inhuman, violent, deranged, and with an inclination for murder. Your heart and spine are encased in ice, making you immune to the cold and all your humanity encased with it.
Is there a certain, one drawing or like image that people go back to say what this looks like, or are there several iterations?
There are many iterations. A lot of them have horns like antlers. You've seen a picture. I no doubt seen a picture of one that has like a deer head skull and horns, like antlers.
Okay.
But that's not what the original being was described as. And I'll give a description right now if you'd like.
Oh, okay, yeah. Thanks.
So then there are some who believe it's a physical being, a giant measuring anywhere from 10 feet tall to even taller than the trees. It's said that it grows even taller with every victim it takes, never allowing it to become full and satiated. So like every time it eats a victim, it grows in size, so it can't be full. Its body grows bigger and requires more food. It's described by Basil Johnston, an Ojibwe teacher and scholar, as, quote, gaunt to the point of emaciation, its desiccated skin pulled tautly over its bones, with its bones pushing out against its skin, its complexion the ash gray of death, and its eyes pushed back deep into their sockets. The Wendigo looked like a gaunt skeleton recently disinterred from the grave. What lips it had were tattered and bloody. Its body was unclean and suffering from separations of the flesh, giving off a strange and eerie odor of decay and decomposition, of death and corruption. So you can get a little mental image there.
That's not a great one.
No.
Not a great image. It's something I want to look at. In my mind,
it's like a bloodthirsty zombie type thing. Like it's human-like, but it's so beyond human that it looks like a monster.
I don't know what I'm envisioning right now. I need to see like a drawing of this, honestly. I can see it, but I want to know if what I'm thinking is what people draw it like.
Okay, so most people draw it with the antlers.
That's like literally what I was thinking. Yeah, that's kind of what I was envisioning it looking like. That is horrifying.
Some people describe it as kind of like almost like a werewolf.
Yeah, I was thinking like werewolf type body, like real skinny with a deer head.
Many depictions today have the creature with large antlers like a deer, but as far as I can tell, this edition was given more recently and isn't really a part of any of the original legend. This monster feeds on people, possibly having been one once before. Some say, like in our intro, the creature was created when pushed to the brink of starvation and resorted to cannibalism. Quote, it is the personification of ice and hunger, cold and death, despondence and desperation. It's the greed of a community member putting their own wants and needs above all others, particularly in hard times, and resorting to a taboo of great proportions. Many say that you can tell one is near if you smell the foul odor emanating off of its body, but once you smell it, then it may be too late because the creature has already been watching you and you are in the range of an attack. Some stories, some legends say that it began as a person, a person who chose cannibalism
when they were at a time of great desperation.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And continued to choose that even outside of desperation, which I guess if you're like possessed by the spirit, you're always desperate for it.
Yeah. That's interesting. Is it theorized that the person was possessed first, or he resorted to cannibalism and then became possessed by the thing, and then now it's just kind of grown?
Depends on the tribe. Depends on who's telling the story.
Okay.
They are capable of moving fairly easily through the ice and snow, driven by their hunger. It had great strength and abilities beyond the physical realm in order to hunt its prey. There are claims that it may be capable of shape-shifting into another animal to disguise itself, and some even say it can mimic sounds and voices it's heard through the woods, luring their intended victims out into the cold to lose themselves in the trees just to be captured in its claws. So that's probably why people say, like, well, when you look at like mimic videos and Appalachia videos and stuff, some say that they can like mimic the voices of people they know, like people in their community.
Mm-hmm. I just saw a video today where a man was recording in his tent and he heard someone yelling help, and that was like in one of the first 5 comments was someone saying that.
That's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
That's so scary. I've seen a lot of videos like that and read a lot of stories about that, like people out camping.
Yeah.
And hearing like, help me.
Another reason to not go camping.
One site, Legends of America, claimed that the Ojibwe described it as, quote, a large creature as tall as a tree, with a lipless mouth and jagged teeth. Its breath was a strange hiss, its footprints full of blood, and it ate any man, woman, or child who ventured into its territory. And those were the lucky ones. Sometimes the Wendigo chose to possess a person instead, and then the luckless individual became a Wendigo himself, hunting down those he had once loved and feasting upon their flesh.
That's horribly scary and sad.
Mm-hmm.
Now I have a few other thoughts, but I want to wait till later.
Okay. There are many variations on how to kill or subdue a Wendigo. Some claim that only a shaman can do so, requiring specific ceremonies or even particular kinds of bullets or daggers. Others claim that you must unfreeze and destroy the heart to get rid of this creature. Some believe that once you unfreeze the heart, you may be able to get the person who's been transformed back, but it's often said that the only way to get rid of this monster is by killing it and the person within. Once killed, the heart must be carved out and melted in a sacred fire until it completely disappears, releasing the evil spirit. Some anthropologists believe that the legend originated as a cautionary tale for communities that relied on each other to survive harsh winters, but others believe that the creature and spirit truly exist. Many variations of this creature exist in other tribes, like the Stonecoat of the Iroquois, who, rather than being animalistic or human-like, the creature's made of stone. So there are variations for many tribes, just like a lot of the stories that we tell about this.
Yeah. I feel like every legend we've ever talked about, it depends on the region.
It's prolific.
Yeah, the region you're in, where you come from, just all of that. It's all always
but
different,
it's so
but the
widespread,
same.
Yeah.
Yes.
The first known reporting of this being was in the 1600s by a French Jesuit missionary named Paul Lejeune. He was living amongst the Algonquian people in present-day Quebec and documented the legends and stories told to him by his neighbors. He was warned about a woman who had done unspeakable things. Quote, "The creature had eaten some of the tribes that live north of the river that is called Three Rivers, and that he would eat a great many more of them if he were not called elsewhere. But it would come in his place to devour them, even up to the French fort, that he would slaughter the French themselves." The 1661 Jesuit Relations, which is kind of like a yearly thing published about these like Jesuit missionaries and like what they're seeing in America and what they're doing, reported an incident that seemed to have occurred involving one of these creatures. Quote, "What caused us great concern was the news that met us upon entering the lake, namely, that the men deputed by our conductor for the purpose of summoning the nations to the North Sea and assigning them a rendezvous, where they were to await our coming, had met their death the previous winter in a very strange manner. Those poor men, according to the report given us, were seized with an ailment unknown to us, but not very unusual among the people we were seeking. They are afflicted with neither lunacy, hypochondria, nor frenzy, but have a combination of all these species of disease, which affects their imaginations and causes them a more than canine hunger. This makes them so ravenous for human flesh that they pounce upon women, children, and even upon men, like veritable werewolves, and devour them voraciously, without being able to appease or glut their appetite, ever seeking fresh prey, and the more greedily the more they eat. This ailment attacked our deputies, and, as death is the sole remedy among those simple people for checking such acts of murder, they were slain in order to stay the course of their madness." There were many stories on the western frontier in the 1800s of people going mad and being accused of turning into one of these beings, needing to be killed to stop the violence and spread of such horror. Stories of the reported beast and possessions were common all through to the 20th century.
Were all of these reported Wendigos or beasts or whatever, were they all of native like tribes?
Most of them, yeah. From what I've seen.
To me, I'm already thinking that this could have been, something that maybe who do you say it was? The
Jesuit?
The Jesuits, where did they come from?
France.
Okay, were they coming over there and just making these things up to kill these people, or?
See, that's another thing. Well, no, yes and no, maybe.
I mean,
I have a lot of answers. I don't know. I believe that they were told about these things, but I also do believe, maybe not necessarily these Jesuits missionaries, but of course there were stories told to like
scare the people.
They are scary people and we need to take their land. You know, that's a tale as old as time.
I feel like that's a given, but I also wanted to point that out because it's like, if we're just talking about native people saying, "Oh, this is our legend, this is what happened," but whenever you bring in people from the outside that are coming in to do nefarious things, it's like, wait a minute. I don't know what to believe.
So I don't know exactly what the Jesuits were doing. So I can't speak on that exactly, but
we can assume.
It's a possibility, but not necessarily true.
I feel like that's with everything we talk about, but
yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to
say that. I mean, there are legends like this in the tribes. So like this is real.
Yes. But whenever you're bringing in outsiders, like I said, it's like,
it makes you start questioning.
What's your motive here?
Yeah. One of the most famous cases is that of a Plains Cree trapper from Alberta named Swift Runner, or that's what he was called. The winter was beginning to wind down in 1879 when Swift Runner was spotted returning to town from his winter camp without his family and acting strangely. He was liked about town and near the trading post, but on this occasion, people could tell something was off. As they began talking to him, they quickly found that his entire family had died that winter. He claimed they all had died from starvation. But Swift Runner didn't look like he was on the brink of death. In fact, he didn't look like he had suffered without food at all. Concerned, authorities made their way out to his camp. It is claimed they found bones, human bones, throughout his camp. When confronted, it didn't take long before he told them what happened. He claimed it began with the death of his eldest son. He had succumbed to the starvation, as the family hardly had enough food to survive. Then, he began having dreams. A spirit came to him and told him to eat his family, and so he did. His wife and all his children were used to keep himself alive that winter. The worst part of it all is that he and his camp were said to have been no more than 25 miles from the closest trading post with food and supplies he and his family could have survived on. Despite his claims of being possessed by the spirit, he was killed for the murders later that year at Fort Saskatchewan. So, different stories have different variations on this. Some say he was like really far away from the trading post, but people in the area said there was plenty of game for him to have used. Other stories said that he was like within 25 miles. Like he could have gotten there and gotten his family supplies if he really needed it.
Interesting.
But he did claim that something overtook him.
And he saw it in his dream.
Yeah.
I don't know what to believe yet.
There are also reports of people finding those possessed by the spirit and putting them out of their misery before they resorted to acts like those of Swift Runner. In 1907, Jack Fiddler and his brother Joseph were arrested for murder. Jack was an OG Cree medicine man and was known for his powers that made him capable of defeating these creatures. He had claimed to kill 14 of them over the years. This time, a Cree woman was about to transform into the creature, or so he said, so he killed her before she had the chance to fully turn and eat members of her family and community, so saving her soul, basically, and saving her family. Jack took his own life after his arrest, and Joseph died in custody before he received news of a pardon. A term was created to explain some of the historic accounts of strange deaths, murder, and cannibalism in that area. It was called Wendigo psychosis. It was used to describe individuals who experienced extreme anxiety, paranoia, hallucinations, depression, and cannibalistic urges. They would begin to believe they had been possessed by the spirit of such a creature. Those in the community would try to help the individual, like native healers and shamans would come in and try to help them, save them. Once afflicted, and if a shaman could not cure the body and spirit of this person, it often led to their death before they could begin their transformation into the feared creature. This is a controversial term, retroactively diagnosed and applied to cases relayed sometimes second or third hand, leading some to dispute the term and existence of the diagnosis entirely. And it was used mostly by the early 20th century missionaries and psychologists, but didn't really capture the entirety of the story. It's possible the legend was used to describe mental illness or anguish brought on by harsh conditions and unbearable winters, but there may be more to the legend.
Okay, because that was also another thought that I had about them just going through hard times, and I don't know. I still don't know.
Yeah, and
what do you think?
It's hard for me to get a full picture of it without knowing like the full stories and lore of like what they were going through every winter. Like if it was, I truly, I mean, it is still today. Some of the winters are like really harsh up there. And I'm sure it was very hard when you're not, like you don't have like all the amenities that we have today, like infrastructure to help you get food in the middle of winter.
Yeah.
And so I do believe that, and I mean, it's been documented like the Donner Party and like was it the soccer team that crashed in the mountains who resorted to those kinds of things. So, I mean, it happens. It has happened.
Yeah.
I just don't know how, it was claimed to be very prevalent back then or at this time, like the psychosis was. Also, the term Wendigo psychosis, like a lot of scientists kind of dispute it because it was, like I said, like retroactively placed on people. So a lot of it, like you can't really like have a scientific,
they weren't examination
or you know, like method put onto this to make sure like to have a diagnosis like that. Many claim that the Wendigo could be described more so as a personification, not only of the harsh conditions brought on by the cold winters, but as a way to describe the greed and loss of humanity in a community that relies greatly on the sharing of resources and thinking of your fellow man. A way to deter others from falling into the trap of self-aggrandizing greed or excessive consumption. The author of Dangerous Spirits, The Wendigo in Myth and History, Sean Smallman, claims, quote, "It was a means of defining moral social behavior, which could serve as a warning against greed and selfishness." So some believe that maybe it was more just like a moral story.
Yeah. And I was thinking that.
It was just a way to teach, one, kids not to go into the woods because there might be an evil spirit lurking about. And two, to teach you to like think of your community.
Yeah.
And not be so greedy, not be, you know, trying to hoard all of the goods and stuff for yourself and share with others, as well as in the winter, like not fall for the taboos of eating your people. You know what I mean?
And that is a good point because of the story of, I forget his name. Swiftrunner. It's like the food or the resources or whatever were right over there if he would have, thought about it or done that. Like, that sounds kind of like a story that someone would make up to be like, he didn't have to do it, blah, 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 like to teach people.
That or just, it may get hard. Maybe you'll think of it. Maybe it'll come to your mind in times of great desperation. But remember this story of the Wendigo, and like it will plague your soul.
Yeah.
That's in my terms.
That's kind of
how they were saying it.
What I was thinking, though. Yeah.
This creature has been used in pop culture since the early 1900s, and that's where we get a lot of our variations in the legend today. Some of the writers, game makers, and movie directors take liberties in making the creature, and it doesn't always line up exactly with the original legend. I mean, that's how legends work anyway. It's like another thing's added onto the story, another thing's added, and it just like snowballs.
It's played up for if they're doing movies or games. Like, you can't just be like, it's a man. Like, it has to look scarier for the screen.
And it may just be they took, well, it can transform into an animal. So like it's half animal, half beast, or half man, and things like that. So, I mean, it makes sense. It's like a sensible direction for the legend to go, in my mind. But it's also used as a device to explore broader themes around the original lesson to be learned. Quote, contemporary indigenous works that explore the legend include the 1995 novel Solar Storms by author and poet Linda K. Hogan, who was a Chickasaw, which explores the stories of the Wendigo and incorporates the creatures as a device to interrogate issues of independence, spirituality, politics, and individuals' relationship to the family, and as a metaphor for corporate veracity, exploitation, and power, all viewed as a form of cannibalism. Rist, the 2016 debut novel of First Nations horror fiction writer Nathan Nuden Adler, who is an Anishinaabe, combines the traditional Ojibwe legend with the author's ideas inspired by non-Indigenous writers like Anne Rice and Tim Powers. So a couple stories, if you're interested, by Indigenous people. But yeah, a lot of people will use this creature as a device, rather, to explain, greed.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
Colonialism, even. Most sightings and stories of the creature seem to have occurred long ago, particularly between 1800 and the early 1900s. So kind of like when settlers were heading that way, that's where we get most of our stories, though they were told long before that, like oral history. But they've sharply dropped off since then. Though there are still some who have claimed to encounter the foul beast, this may be brought on by pop culture representation. But could it really be out there? Are there places still today that need to worry about running into the spirit of such evil? One last little note that I did find interesting was there are restaurants themed around the creature, festivals at Halloween featuring the monster in Wisconsin. So there is like a Wendigo restaurant, and they have like, it's a little weird. It's a little crazy. And there's even a lake named Lake Wendigo in Minnesota that some claim to have seen the supernatural creature in the area.
Bro, what the heck? I have not been a lot of places, but I've been to Minnesota and Wisconsin several times, and I didn't know about any of this.
Well, now you do, when you go back.
And I will be looking into it.
Quote, in the late 20th century, a researcher named Carol Crawford Ryan gathered stories from locals about Lake Wendigo, some of which seemed to go back hundreds of years. She heard that a Wendigo is supposed to live in the icy waters of that inner lake. Bare footprints and exit holes from some larger thing or things are found on the ice when the lake freezes over. She heard that the lake was used as a big kettle by a group of cannibal giants for boiling humans, and that a Native American chief had ventured to the island and never returned.
That's kind of horrifying.
Regardless if this is a real creature, cryptid, spirit, or a cautionary tale to hold on to your humanity, the lengths that one must go to when faced with such hardship and struggle, on the brink of death by starvation, it's frightening where our brains take us. It's horrifying what some must go through in order to survive. And I think this legend can serve a great purpose, even today, for those who want nothing more than to hoard wealth and goods while others in your community are starving.
Well, okay.
I feel like that's the essence of this legend.
I mean, period.
And whether it's real or not, I feel there's a good lesson there. I mean, lesson 1, don't eat people. Lesson 2, be kind to your neighbor and giving and take care of your community.
Well, I couldn't have said it any better myself. Thank you for that, ma'am.
Sorry.
Wow. Okay.
Sorry to take it there.
This, no, I mean, I agree. Okay.
This was unsettled by this.
Listen, I have several thoughts about this because I feel like because we're, paranormal podcasts, we're ghosties, we're this, we're that, people expect us to play up the sensationalization of these legends and things and like the skinwalkers and all that stuff.
That's what I was really worried about with this one.
No, but I don't think that you did that. We got the information. It was scary, but with these types of legends, I find it a lot more respectful and a lot more, like you gain more from it when you're telling it from this side and not just being like, it's out there, woo. Because if you look, I feel like if you were to type this into YouTube right now, it would be a bunch of videos of people being like,
it's
scary.
like a lot of stories of like, I saw one and
yeah.
And so I didn't know where
That's
to
what
go
I
with this
expected.
episode. And I was texting Natalie, like, I'm having a lot of like trouble with this episode because I didn't know where to go. Of course, like, this is a scary podcast. I want to talk about spooky things, but it didn't feel, I mean, obviously horrifying, but it didn't feel like, it felt more like a legend with a lesson to be learned than it did to me a like actual cryptid in the woods.
No, and I liked this.
And so if you have a different opinion, please let me know. But that's what I gathered from this.
Because I've seen people in some of our videos like comment stuff about it and I'm like, wow, that must be a really scary thing. Like I can't wait to learn about it. It is, but I like the angle that you took because you can go on TikTok or YouTube or something and find a bunch of scary stories about it, I'm sure.
Yeah, you can.
But this was the information and I'm sorry, I like to learn. Controversial.
So this
I don't know.
is a very learny episode, and if you like it, thank you. If not, next time we'll have lots of scary stories, I promise.
I was into it. I don't know that people might hate it. Sorry if you hate it, but I thought it was good, and I like having that knowledge now and going forward knowing like the history behind it and not just sensationalizing this Native American legend thing. Yeah.
And you know what? It could be true.
It could be.
The spirit of this evil, I don't know what else to call it than like a demon, could be true, could be out there.
It could be, but no, I appreciate the work you put into it. I really do.
Thank you.
I know you were stressed.
I was very stressed about this episode. And so
because it wasn't like our normal like,
no, it wasn't. And I tried to find a way because of like the things that I've seen online, but like I don't know. It didn't feel right to me.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Okay. I'm still scared. I hope y'all like it. I don't know.
I personally don't like when people will take something without doing the proper research and be like, it's this and scary. I like that you looked into it and I like that I know this now.
Also, if I just happened to find all of the wrong sources, let me know if I just took the wrong thing from this, because maybe I'm just in the wrong part of the internet for my research on this one.
I don't know. And if you are Native and you have some stories of your own, or if your family has stories and they've told you, if you're from Wisconsin,
are comfortable sharing,
let us know, because I'm really, I'd like to know more.
I'm intrigued. I'm scared. This creature did scare me, but like in a different way. But I also felt it was timely.
I do agree.
And with that, like this video if you liked it, share it with your friends if you feel compelled to do so, and please subscribe for more. We've got a listener story coming on Thursday. Very excited about that one.
Me too.
And another good episode coming Monday. If you're here at the end, you know what it is. I'll tell you.
What is it?
It's Mothman. And I am currently reading like 2 separate books about it to like get all of the details. I'm very excited about this one.
Now let me say this. All of you watching right now, you listening, if you're in your car, you all hyped this up for me. And you've all told me that Mothman is real. And if I come to this recording whenever we're doing that next one for Monday, and it's not good, you're all in trouble.
Death to all of them.
No, too far for that one. You're all, I don't know. I don't know how to punish you all, but I will punish you.
Okay, thanks.
Because
I hope I live up to your standards.
I'm very excited about this, and I cannot be let down.
Mothman, the little I know about it, it's like one of my favorite stories. Cryptid.
All right.
It's so interesting.
West Virginians, lock in. And if you're still here, leave a moth emoji or a butterfly if there's not a moth.
There's not a moth. I looked.
That's actually kind of rude.
Don't ask why I looked, but I looked.
Okay. Leave a butterfly emoji. Close enough.
Yes, please do. And if you want more from us, you can go to our Patreon. We, before this, recorded a Loose Leaves episode. That was really fun. I got something special in the mail, a special package.
We did a little unboxing.
We did a little unboxing on there, and it was a lot of fun. It's patreon.com/ghosties. It's also in our description. You can go join for free, too. We do free lives every once in a while, so if you're interested in that. Is there anything else I'm missing?
Don't think so. Other than that, if you are a teacher and you're starting school, may peace be with you. And also with you. Isn't that a church thing?
I think the Catholics say that.
I've just heard people say it. So good luck, and know that I am in the trenches with you, and we're going to make it through. May is just around the corner. So lock in, teachers. We're going to make it. Goodbye.